Thanks for joining me on a garden walk. We're having a look at this backyard garden bed. I'm growing perennial flowers. And it's been about 1.5 years that I've been planting flowers, and then about 2.5 years ago we planted these 3 crepe myrtles, and those kind of anchor the bed. The reason for planting them was to create a bit of a visual block from the neighbor's house. It was a kind of white, stark looking wall and windows at the top looking down into our backyard. So we thought it would kind of break it up a little bit. We're starting to see the flowers maturing and filling in the space, which is really nice. This is a variety of coneflower. And I think last time we spoke there was just one little blossom, and it's filling up beautifully. This is an African blue basil. Down here are the first of the dahlias, and I didn't realize that they need to be staked. So they're lying right on the ground, covering up the coral bells. So I will stake those, lift them off the ground, and I think that'll open up that space a little bit and give the coral bells a bit more room to grow. This plant has done better than anything in the garden, and it has filled up such a huge area and kind of covered everything around it. So definitely will need some work later in the year. I'll probably cut it in about 4 or 5 pieces and move it to different areas, or share some with friends. So I moved a few of these lower growing plants to the front, filling in that area. The agapanthus are just stunning, very, very striking to look out the back door and see that pretty blue. This is another basil plant. I think we've had way too much water for this lavender. I may need to actually dig it up and put some more sand underneath so that it sits a little higher and has more drainage, because lavender doesn't really like to have wet feet, as they say. They like to be able to drain really well and dry out a little bit between rain and waterings. This Barberton daisy is looking fabulous. It's filled up so nicely, and I'm hoping we'll start seeing flowers soon. Unfortunately, this little iris has not flowered since I planted it. And again, I think it may be a similar issue. It may just be sitting too low in the ground and get too much water. So I think what I'll do when I work with the lavender is do the same thing with this iris and just lift it up a little higher. I'll dig it up, put some sand down, and then replant it so that it sits a little higher. Because right now it's kind of low in the ground. And I think when it rains, it probably makes a bit of a hollow here. So it's sitting in a very damp spot. Plants, they really do well when they have the optimal soil, sun, and water levels. It's trying to figure out what they like, what's best for them, and making it all work together. And then on top of that, trying to have flowers that just keep blooming so that you have constant color in the garden. So it's a wonderful hobby, and there's always something new to learn. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk again in a few days' time. And I'll show you how I take care of the dahlias and the lavender and the Barberton daisies, and see if we can get some more blooms from them.